My Lords, having listened to the debate thus far, I do appreciate that DUP bashing can be a popular exercise by some members in His Lordship's House, but I can tell you we have a good, strong back. But could I just factually tell you that not one Unionist political party in Northern Ireland supports the Northern Ireland Protocol? Not one Unionist elected representative in Northern Ireland supports the Northern Ireland Protocol. So whenever you're speaking about the DUP, you're talking about unionism collectively, and to never forget that. Secondly, because could I remind you that when it comes to the Northern Ireland Assembly, the Northern Ireland Assembly is built on the premise not of majority rule, but is built on the premise of cross-community consent, and therefore the Northern Ireland Protocol does not have cross-community consent. Now, the human rights provision in the Belfast Agreement provided the people of Northern Ireland the right, and I quote, to pursue democratically national and political aspirations. And Article 2 of the Protocol obliges the UK Government to ensure that there is no diminishment of any Belfast Agreement rights following Brexit. And yet the Protocol challenges these rights for the people of Northern Ireland head-on, slashing the value of their vote. I want to quote from a letter I received from a lady in Northern Ireland. I'm eternally grateful for the work of Ulster's pioneering 19th century female human rights campaigner Isabella Todd and those who followed her in the early 20th century, like Dora Malone. My concern, however, is that the work of these great civil rights campaigners is being undermined and that my civil rights are being infringed by the Protocol. Todd and Malone, etc., did not campaign for us to have the vote, only for the meaning of that vote to be substantially eroded compared with people living in Great Britain or in the Republic of Ireland. That, however, is the effect of the Protocol, because in some 300 areas of law in relation to which I previously was represented through my legislators, I have now become voiceless. This has immediate, direct and distressing equality implications, because it means that I no longer enjoy equality with respect to UK citizens living in Scotland, England or Wales, or indeed with citizens of the Republic of Ireland. In the same way, UK citizens of Scotland, Wales and England can stand for election or elect MPs to make their laws in the 300 areas I am speaking about. And so in the Irish Republic, their electors can elect their TDs, senators, MEPs to make laws in all of these areas. But the citizens of Northern Ireland are therefore uniquely discriminated against. Can anyone in this House support that and accept that? My Lords, when I read that letter and when I read it in the context of human rights provision in the Belfast Agreement and the obligations that the British Government has in the Protocol to ensure that there is no diminution of those rights because of Brexit, the case is unanswerable. I also make the economic point. The EU thinks we should be happy because we are offered a reduced cheques of 80%. My Lords, if cheques were reduced by 90%, it would not make the difference, because the problem is not the cheques. The problem... Yes, I'm happy.
Could I thank the noble Lord for giving away? But would he not accept the fact that it is currently the DUP that is preventing the restoration of all of the political institutions in Northern Ireland at a time when the people are facing a cost of living and a cost of business crisis, when they urgently need those local governments to make decisions?
I said clearly that the DUP has made it abundantly clear they will not be going into the executive. Make no doubt about that. Let this House hear that clearly, and I will refer to the speech of my friend in another place, the leader of our party, on Saturday to his party conference. I said if the cheques were reduced by 90%, it would make no difference, because the problem is not the cheques. The problem is the paperwork, which still has to be done whether a consignment is checked or not. Now, some might respond and say, well, why is that such a problem? Different countries export to each other all the time. Why should treating Northern Ireland as a third country in relation to the rest of the United Kingdom be economically devastating? In order to answer that question, my lords, we have to understand that although we talk about living in a globalised economy as if it was all one, in reality, while there are all manners of links between different state economies, the links within them are nonetheless qualitatively quite different. If you look at shipments and lorries between countries, they tend to be one product in bulk. Because there is only one product, you would only need one set of paperwork which is manageable. However, you look at shipments in lorries within integrated economies, the contents are quite different. Rather than being overwhelmingly one product, they tend to include multiple products, which means that if you try to treat them as exports, then they need multiple pieces of paperwork, and that costs money. And that is why that we have, in actual fact, a number of firms stating that they do not believe that they can trade with Northern Ireland if the protocol goes on and if it is furthered by the desire of the full implementation of it. Can I just finally, because of time, just draw your attention, because it has been raised here today, concerning where the DUP stand. On Saturday, our leader made this clear. Let me be clear. Either the Prime Minister delivers the provisions of the Protocol Bill by legislation or by negotiation, and ensures that our place in the United Kingdom is restored, or there will be no basis to re-enter Stormont. That's clear. On this issue, it is not words, but actions. We need to see, and we will judge any outcome on the basis of actions, not words. What I say tonight is this to the government: get on with dealing, get on with action, and allow us to be able to get on with being equal citizens within the United Kingdom, and let our people prosper.